I retweeted this, or I tweeted this video the other day, and it's basically Biden. You know what? I'm going to pull it up because I feel like you guys need to see this absolutely ridiculous, the ridiculousness of this, because he can't even read a teleprompter. Okay, I'm fairly certain we all know the man reads from a teleprompter. Am I right? You know what I'm saying? The dude reads from a teleprompter. So here, I guess he's trying to say there's no one better suited for the job. Oh, I can't think of anyone more well suited for a job.
This operation than
Hold on, let me go back.
I can't think of anyone better to lead this operation than Deanne Criswell of FEMA.
He can't even read a teleprompter. The dude doesn't know who the leader of FEMA is. Dude, you're the leader of the free world. You should know who you're going to be talking about. It's fine if you don't know who he is before you start your speech to talk to the world, but you're on the world stage and you represent America. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be embarrassed that you can't even read a teleprompter. You know the man reads a teleprompter. Come on. Come on. Now people are writing, someone on Fox, look at this. White House rages after Fox News blames Jill Biden for Joe Biden's mental dysfunction. I'm sorry, Fox. I'm going to have to disagree with you there. I'm going to show you guys this in a second, but I'm pretty sure it's just he's old and probably dementia or something along those lines. I see it all the time. He's got these angry outbursts. He gets mad at people. He loves his ice cream. All right, that's a telltale sign because the ice cream reminds them of younger days. They're like, oh, yum, I know, I love ice cream. Yay, I'm happy now. Woo! Oh, I'll take my ice cream. My goodness, this guy. The White House has slammed Fox News on Monday following comments made by Fox personality Rachel Campos Duffy about First Lady Jill Biden, whom she partially blamed for the disaster in Afghanistan. Jill Biden's press secretary, Michael LaRosa, blasted Fox News on social media, calling Campos Duffy's comments disgusting. Blah, blah, blah. This is disgusting. We're dealing with this. We're dealing with some stuff. You know what? I mean, it was a little far-fetched, I think, because first off, I don't know if you know this, but Vice President Kamala Harris took credit for Afghanistan. Back in May, I believe. She was like, I was the last person in the room with Joe Biden when he made the decision. This was, of course, before they bungled the whole operation, right? They were like, they thought that it was something good. Turns out, let me pull this article up real quick. I don't think it's too deep in my timeline. I think I posted it relatively recently. Oh my gosh. I post a lot. Oh, here it is. Nope, that's something else. All right, so Kamala basically back in May came out. Oh, here it is. This is from Politico. Harris says she had a key role in Biden's Afghanistan withdrawal decision. Oh, but this was. Oh, sorry, this is late April. So in late April, she was like, yeah, I definitely had a part to do with it because, this was when it was, patriotic and they're getting the troops out, which is great and all. Of course, then they proceeded to leave 15,000 Americans in Afghanistan, leaving them practically stranded or basically stranded because the Taliban's, behind enemy lines, essentially. Of course, the White House is refusing to admit it, even snapping at a journalist when he just asked about it, saying, what are we going to do? What does Biden think about these Americans who are stranded? And Jen Psaki's like, excuse me, it's irresponsible to say that they're stranded. We have their email address. We're emailing them and texting them. They are not stranded. How dare you assume that we stranded them there? Hey, Psaki, he didn't say that. All right, he said they're stranded out there. You're the one who now implied that it's your fault. Triggered much, Psaki? Yeah, she got triggered. Anyway, Kamala Harris, turns out you're partially to blame for all this. Of course, I got to bring it back, though, to Joe Biden's mental decline, because that's really the subject of what's happening. Do you think he really had any control over what's going on in Afghanistan? People say it's his fault, but let's be honest. Let's be honest with ourselves. Joe Biden has no idea what he's doing. He is the fall guy. All right? He's the guy who's falling on the grenade for the people who wanted all this to happen. They left $85 billion worth of military equipment. The Taliban are more set up now than probably ever. They have new trucks, new weapons, new gear on all sorts of different things. It's amazing and terrible. Look at this. Majority of voters believe other people are making decisions for Biden behind the scenes. I mean, I think it. I've been saying it for a while. What do you guys think? I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? This dude doesn't know what he's saying. All he does is come out and read a teleprompter. A whopping 51% of voters believe that others are making decisions for Biden behind the scenes, according to a new poll. Wow. It's from Rasmussen. Historic findings. Look at that. That is insane. Let's see. Click on it. Let's go more in depth. I want to see this here. National survey of 1,000 U.S. likely voters conducted August 18th and 19th, 2021. How confident are you that Joe Biden is physically and mentally up to the job of being the president of the United States? Wow. 32% said very confident. 14% somewhat confident. The rest are based. 41% said not at all confident. Wow. That's the largest margin right there. Not very confident. I mean, those together are that's pretty bad. 52%. Oh my gosh. And the other 2% that are not sure. It's like, yeah, you know you're not confident. Come on. That's amazing. Is Joe Biden really doing the job of president, or are others making the decision for him behind the scenes? 51% says others are making the decisions and 10% are not sure. So that 10% who aren't sure about it, what do you think that it's either a yes or no? I mean, that's pretty solid. You basically if they saw the evidence, they'd be like, yeah, we knew it all the time. That 10%, you know it. Because either he's making the decisions and he's a bumbling old man who is doing a terrible job at making those decisions, or someone else is doing it for him. Look at this. Former Obama White House doctor, Biden is no longer cognitively prepared to be our president and needs to resign. My gosh, this is from August 20th. Former Obama White House. So that means this was the doctor when he was in the White House as vice president. So he probably knows this doctor for years, at least a decade. And he's coming out saying this dude is not cognitively there anymore. Ronnie Jackson served in the role under both Presidents Obama and Trump, called on President Joe Biden to leave office during a Fox News interview on Friday morning amid the disaster unfolding in Afghanistan, saying that Biden is no longer cognitively prepared to be the president of the United States. Quote, "We're looking horrible right now on the world stage. This is an absolute national embarrassment," Jackson, who now represents Texas' 13th congressional district, said. And instead of being out in front of this and talking about what's going on, what went wrong, and what the plan was, and what we're going to do next, Biden's just been hiding again, as he always has. He's not just hiding, he's on vacation. This dude's probably eating ice cream. He's the president and fumbling this like crazy. We are an embarrassment. Like, people are looking at America as a joke because this man's sitting at the helm eating ice cream. I couldn't think of, I mean, what else do you think this guy's doing? Quote, Biden once again has failed us. He's embarrassed us internationally, Jackson continued. And honestly, it is time for him to leave. I've been saying this for a long time. I've been saying that he's not cognitively prepared to be our president. And this is just another example of his failure. And I think a lot of this is relevant to his cognitive ability. And he's created a national security disaster for this country right now. And it's time for him to move on, and somebody else needs to do the job. He continues on, but that right there scares me the most. Because you know what's waiting. Someone who has failed up her entire career. I mean, she basically slept her way into this position. Yeah, I'm talking about Kamala Harris. I'm not holding back. I can't stand that woman. She's terrible. She held innocent people behind bars for cheap labor. How is that not modern day slavery? That's now. I'm not talking about her ancestors, which are actually connected, but we're not going to get into that because I want to hold people accountable for what they've done, right? The sins of the fathers. We shouldn't act like that. Everyone has a chance to prove themselves, and Kamala Harris has proven herself. I mean, she's Willie Brown. How did she get that job? How did she become mayor? How is she even here? She was polling the lowest last year. I was paying attention during the primaries. Nobody liked her, and nobody liked Biden. And she attacked President Biden, called him sexist, said she believed Tara Reid, that then suddenly stopped talking about it. What happened? Right, because they offered you power. And now I'm going to bring it back to this poll from Rasmussen. They said over 51% of the people polled didn't think that Joe Biden was in control and what he was doing. Do you think that it's going to be higher or lower for Kamala Harris? I'm just saying right now, I don't think that woman's going to be in charge. I don't think she's ever been in charge. I think she's a puppet. She was placed there. There's no way. If I was a Democrat, I am not. But if I was a Democrat last year, and I was, following it along, and maybe I would have wanted Bernie or Tulsi Gabbard, maybe. I like Tulsi a little bit. She's got some awesome points that she's fighting big tech and calling people out, for even Democrats out for what they're doing. It's pretty great to see. But man, watching Kamala Harris and her just insulting demeanor, her condescendingness, she has an air of, I'm going to talk over you. Like watching her debate Vice President Pence was just embarrassing. I'm speaking. It's like, okay, the second one, that's just you being I don't swear on my show, but you know what I wanted to say. Yeah. She's going to be president if Biden stepped down? I mean, we knew it. People have been joking about it for a long time. Before he even became president, people were joking about it. Oh, man, he's not going to last 2 years. Even if he if he does last 2 years, he's going to step down right after that. Or that meme of Kamala wheeling him over the cliff and throwing him over like, thanks, we don't need you anymore. You're taking all of the heat for Afghanistan now. That's perfect. Everyone's just going to be mad at Biden, and Biden's going to be the reason. I mean, I felt bad for Biden before when he was excuse me, let me do this in air quotes, campaigning, because he couldn't read a teleprompter then, right? And I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, I kind of feel bad for this guy because he's clearly old. He's clearly not there anymore. He clearly should be retired right now. I mean, what's the retirement age? 65, 67? I don't know. I think it's going up or something. 62. Somewhere in your 60s, right? Late 60s, 70. Is it 78? No, dude's 78. He's the oldest president ever to be elected in the Oval Office. Like, dude, you've been in government for 50 years. You are out of touch, old man. You need to retire. And that scares me because even there's rumors that Kamala's been trying to like get senators to basically get on her side to remove Biden. And even her own aides are freaking scared of her because she's probably a power-hungry woman who wants, or it's not that she's a woman, a power-hungry human being, we'll put it that way, all right, who just wants to have all the power. She doesn't care how she gets it. I think that she sold her soul and is owned by somebody because there's no way that she won that seat. No one elected her. She was chosen by the DNC, and so was Biden. They were both so far down. Bernie should have gotten it. Buttigieg should have gotten it long before these two. But they chose them for some reason, and it's absolutely beyond me as to how that's the case.